What's new? Get ready.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to episode 42 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Keiran, and I'm, of course, joined by my awesome, amazing, fantastic co-host, Tyler. How is it going?
Oh, it's going well. I have gotten some really good sleep this week, which I'm very happy about. Got almost 10 hours of sleep. Well, it was about 10 hours of sleep last night. It was beautiful. I actually feel good right now. Feeling good.
That makes one of us. I have not been sleeping very well.
I'm sorry to hear. You got to get in the bed early. Well, no, you had a busy week this week, so yeah. Sorry. You got to hopefully better sleep will be around the corner.
Yes, and also around the corner is episode 42, which is this one where this was horrible. Never mind. I'm bailing. I'm ripcording out of that section. This is the Play to Win podcast, a show where we break down weekly gaming news to in-depth discussion. You can check out timestamps in the description for anything you want to skip to when we're talking about. But we only really have one topic this week, which is games releasing in 2022.
Yeah. So I guess, if you want to bounce around, like you just bounce around to the different months, and timestamps, however we get it going.
Yep. Before we get into our brief mentions, just a reminder to subscribe to the Play to Win channel. If you enjoy the content that we make, you can take the notification bell so you are one of the first people in the world to see it.
Yep. And subscribe on some podcast services as well.
Yep.
Don't forget that too. Subscribe over there. That way you could, if you can't watch while you're at work on the train, you can listen while you're at work on the train. And as soon as one of the new episodes comes up, you get it, download it, bing, bam, boom, you're all good to go.
Yep. Just like that. Do that too. We are going to just jump into right into our brief mentions. So there aren't a huge amount this week. So we're going to start with the Halo Infinite store is lowering item prices, which is always a good thing. Less money that people need to spend. PS4 games started coming to PC because several teams at PlayStation Studios asked for it to happen, which again is a very good thing. More people get to play their games. The PS5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of Apex Legends could be right around the corner because I don't have this here, but there was a recent, I think it was like either a data mine or a leak or something that has new stuff in the code for Series X and a mention of the PS5 controller.
Yeah. I heard about this, didn't look into it. I was like, all right, cool. Good for the fans.
Yeah, I just downloaded Apex on my Series X, so I'm excited for that. PUBG developer is suing multiple companies, including Apple, over copycat games. Popular video game voice actor Troy Baker is facing major backlash over his tweet announcing he is partnering with VoiceVerse NFT, which, if you go and listen to the latest episode of Play, Watch, Listen podcast hosted by Alana Pierce with Troy Baker, he kind of explains his reasoning behind that.
I haven't listened to the episode. I actually don't watch any of the episodes of the podcast. I want to watch this one at some point in time. But when I saw, I woke up in the morning and I saw the tweet. I saw him trending. I was like, I wonder why. And I saw the tweet. I was like, okay, that's a thing you're doing.
Yep.
Have fun with this over here. And of course, it was just nonstop dunking all day. And I was just like,
yeah.
I will say, I'll say this, and I said this on Twitter. I've said it here on the show before. I really don't know much about NFTs, nor do I really understand them all that well. But what I do understand of them is, of course, bad for the environment. And they're pretty sus and, stupid and silly and all like that. And all that being said, though, like, I'm not for them, but I don't like voraciously hate them like so many people. But I believe his name is Alex Bukala. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Who's been on YouTube for a bit, making videos talking about like video game music and all. In the past year, he's recently like blown up a whole lot in the past year and stuff. But he put a tweet out where he was kind of saying, sort of like the same things, but he was also like, what also scares me is just like how quick people are to just immediately turn on a person or have their opinion of a person change like on a dime by like moderate interest in NFTs. And I was like, yeah, I think that's a good point here because it's like, it's crazy how people are like treating him like he's the scum of the earth, Troy specifically, treating Troy, he's the scum of the earth for doing this. And I mean, again, I'm proud to. I'm not proud to say, but I'm saying, like I said before, not all that knowledgeable about NFTs. And yeah, shortly after he did this, like it kind of came out like that the NFT group he's partnering with here, they kind of like stole someone's VO or something for from someone else. So it was kind of like, yeah, kind of a sus group here. But for so many people to just literally treat him like the scum of the earth, and they never liked him, and like he straight up just like stole candy from a baby or something. Like I might be like trivializing it a bit, but just the way people were coming at him, I was just like, dear God, like can we tone this down a bit? Like all the voracious hate and outrage, it is absolutely insane right now over anything NFT related. So I mean, again, I'm not for them. I don't hate them. I genuinely don't care about NFTs. Like I'd be happy if we stopped talking about them entirely. Not necessarily the podcast. This mean like as a community, as just a people, if we just like kind of like stop talking about them and whatever. But yeah, this was wild to see. I'll try and make time to listen to the episode of the podcast and all. I was reading through the comments of it on YouTube. I didn't watch them. I was reading through the comments and I saw a lot of people basically say like, yeah, there was like they liked the episode. They liked how people were having like actual, well, like how the group was having actual civil discussion about it, and how they were like, how Alana and I think Mike were like, yeah, we don't like NFTs, but like they're like still open to having the conversation and trying to understand Troy's side, and how Troy seemed open to understanding what they were talking about, and how someone else in the conversation was like offering to help him in a different way that didn't involve NFTs and all like that. Like I do want to listen to the conversation, because it seems like that's where you get an actual productive, constructive conversation, and not Twitter, where it's just nonstop hate and outrage against this man for this, which is honestly, I think, something very silly.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but after listening to that episode of Play What Session, I'm like, Troy went into it with like very good intentions. Put it that way.
Yeah. Definitely go watch the episode if you haven't watched it yet, for his perspective, his side on things, for sure.
Yes. Moving on, Microsoft has discontinued production of Xbox One consoles back in 2020, while Sony is ramping up production of PS4 consoles to combat the shortage of PS5, which I don't think is like a fantastic solution, but I mean, it's giving
financially it makes sense.
Yeah, financially it makes sense. It's still giving people a way to play video games for a cheaper price as well, because the PS4 costs less than the PS5. But then you've gone and spent $250, $300 on a PS5, however much it costs. When you can get a PS4, when you can go and get a PS5, when you eventually can, you're then spending an additional $500. But anyway,
I get the financial aspects behind it. It's not, and it's also like I saw so many people like either making a big deal out of this, or like I saw like some people in media kind of posted tweets about this that were like subtle, that were like either dunks on Sony, but also kind of like subtle console war bait. And I was just like, all right, like this type of stuff where it's like y'all will tweet it, and then like like a week later be like, console wars are bad, why are people doing this? It's like, I mean, when you post a tweet like this about this the way you did, like you can't do this in one way, talk to this person over here, but then do this over here. Like it's you're being real silly and all like that. But again, Sony has like sold their consoles for years after a new one came out. The PS2 didn't stop being, it wasn't discontinued until like what, 2014, the PS3 to 2017. Like it's not a surprise that they're still making PS4s at all in any way, shape, or form. Yeah.
It's definitely not a big deal.
Right. Like I'm not surprised by it. And it's like, I'm not surprised by it from that side of things and the financial side, but also like it makes sense that like I would have been surprised if Sony did discontinue them already, and especially if they discontinue them in 2020. like it makes sense that Microsoft discontinued the Xbox One line because the Xbox One was a console that they were trying to get away from. They're like, yeah, we need to wipe this away, leave this in the past, move on, move on, move on,
that
move
didn't
on.
happen.
Yeah, like it just makes total sense that they would do that, as opposed to Sony. Like it makes sense they kind of want to keep that going. Like,
yeah,
there are so many things that make sense about this. That all the console war fanboy rage bait stuff was just so stupid. It's ridiculous. Sorry, my second like rant about a brief mention back to back. I don't have any more for the rest of the brief mentions. I promise you that.
We'll get through the rest of them pretty quickly. Stalker 2 has been delayed to December 8th, 2022. It's about 7 months. The Lego Overwatch 2 sets have been delayed due to the ongoing Activision Blizzard lawsuits. I want to call it real quickly. I love whoever runs the Wendy's Twitter account because they roasted the absolute living hell out of Overwatch. Because
what did it say? I feel like I might have seen it.
I've got it pulled up here. So Wendy's tweeted, "Drop the roast me below," and Overwatch League replied, "You're just like your burgers, square." And then Wendy's replied, "Can't wait for those new Lego sets."
That's funny. That's a good one.
I saw that and I was just like, that is such a perfect response.
That's a good one.
And finally, a new Armored Core game may be coming from Software after screenshots leak.
Which is many fans super excited because they've been asking for that series to come back for quite a while.
Yep. That is the end of our brief mentions. So we are going to start looking forward to 2022 in terms of video games. And we are going to start with January. I say all the games releasing in January for each month. I've just gone through and like picked out the most notable mentions from those months. If you want to look at every game that's coming out this year, then Game Informer has a good list.
Yeah,
but
every game that's coming out or should be coming out as well, because like we also have on our list just to give like clarity for how we're going to do this. We're just like Kara said, we're going to go through each month the notable releases that are slated for release so far this year, and then at the end we have games that are set to release at some point but just don't have specific dates. So that's kind of how we're going to go about this. There's nothing on this list like like a game that maybe it will be announced this year, like there is no like the next Pokemon game, for example, like not Arceus. Like 9 times out of 10 there might be another Pokemon game in the fall, but like we don't have anything like that on here. Like if something has been said to be coming out this year, or will, like a new Call of Duty, because as the sun goes around, a new Call of Duty comes out, like that is what is not will be here in terms of to be announced dates and games we'll be looking forward to, and so on and so forth. If that makes any sense, I hope it did. That way everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, so the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to rattle off the list because there's not too many games for each month, and then we'll talk about it just once I've rattled it off. So for January, Nobody Saves the World on January 18th, Rainbow Six Extraction, and the Hitman Trilogy on January 20th, both of which will be available on Game Pass day one. Pokemon Legends is it Arceus or Arceus?
I believe it's Arceus. Arceus, sorry, yes.
Okay.
Arceus.
I've been pronouncing it Arceus.
I've always pronounced it like that until I believe I heard it was Arceus. And I was just like, oh, okay. I was wrong.
Pokemon Legends Arceus on January 28th, the same day as Uncharted Legacy, the Legacy of Thieves collection. Any particular games in here stand out to you?
So, I mean, the big one of this month, I think, is undoubtedly Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yep.
For both good and bad. The positives is the fact that it's Pokemon in a somewhat open world-esque type of aesthetic. Being able to freely battle and approach Pokemon in the open world. Like you can sneak around, sneak up on them, throw Pokeballs at them freely. And we enter battle. Battle is kind of done differently. They put out like a 13-minute gameplay overview this week. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I've been meaning to. I was gonna watch this morning. I just didn't have time to. But like there's that aspect that seems cool. But then there's also like the worrying things where it's like, is this actually gonna like it's a real fresh experimental new direction to take, the series in, even though it's like a spin-off, not like mainline Pokemon. But how well is it going to turn out? Is it going to turn out as good as we might want it to? Is it actually going to be interesting and challenging and refreshing and rewarding? Or the world, like, is it? I don't believe it's true open world. I think it's more like Monster Hunter, where it's like you have a giant section of the map, and this is the section you are in right now, and this section is freely open world. And then you travel to another section, this other, like, let's say like a desert biome. This biome is its own map, and that own map you could travel around freely as well. I think it's more like that, as opposed to open world like Breath of the Wild or Skyrim or something like that people traditionally think of when they think open world Pokemon. So are each of these biomes, are each of these really, are they sizable, and how big are they, how small are they actually filled with interesting, rewarding content? Is there a good amount of Pokemon in each one? How is it actually traveling in each one? Like, that's also a bit concerning, because we really don't know too much about this game, and it comes out in less than a month. It's very surprising how little we know about it. But then there's also the fact that the game just does not look that good visually. I mean, like, from a visual perspective, like, it looks rough. And people have been saying this about Pokemon games for a bit now, since they came on the Switch. Like with Pokemon Sword and Shield, people were a bit disappointed with the visuals there, but like, still somewhat generally accepting, but still also disappointed a bit. But like Legends Arceus, it looks rough. Like the character, it's like the textures in the world, they don't look all that great. The world itself kind of looks a bit empty visually and bland. Like it does not look that great, and that's disappointing. And part of people have been wondering, hey, is this because the Switch hardware is years and years old? Like, is it that this game needs better hardware to actually look better, or is it because also Game Freak just isn't really known for trying to actually push the Pokemon franchise forward in big, meaningful ways, whether it be gameplay or visuals? Who knows? So Legends Arceus, it's definitely the one here that I'm looking the most forward to, just to see how this turns out. And I'm on the fence as to whether or not I'm going to get it. I might get it. I honestly might. And I think like I'll decide like week of whether or not I'm going to get it. If I get it, I doubt I will review it. If I review it, it would be coming like down the line, because there are other games right after it that I want to play, that I am going to review. So we'll see. But that is the one I'm looking forward to most. After that, it would be Nobody Saves the World, which comes out the day after this podcast goes live, or it should come out the day after this podcast goes live. I say should because this episode may or may not come out on Monday. We'll see. Just in terms of like scheduling and when people are able to get things done and all like that. But Nobody Saves the World, I really know not very little about it. I am interested in it though. It's coming to Game Pass, so I'll play it like that for sure.
Yep.
Give it a try. But those I think are like the two that I'm probably looking forward to the most. Other than that, for this month, Rainbow Six Extraction, I have no interest in playing it. Hitman Trilogy, Game Pass, that's cool. I have the first two on PS5 through PlayStation Plus. The third one, I've never played any of them. The Hitman games are games where I'm like, I'll play them when I feel like it.
Yeah.
And Uncharted, that's cool. I played both those games already. If they come to PC now, fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing how they look on PC though, like visually and what people do with the PC versions. I'm looking forward to seeing that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the order in which I'm excited for these games is kind of the order I have them here. I'm like in January most excited about Nobody Saves the World. I watched a couple of gameplay things for it. It's from people who made Guacamelee, which I really enjoyed. I'm really looking for, and it's on Game Pass, so I don't have to pay for it. Great. Rainbow Six Extraction, I have like a modicum of interest in playing, but not a huge amount, because I don't like it. It seems like a very team-based game, and I don't have a team to play of people to play that game with. So like I'll probably try it a little bit, but not super in depth. Hitman Trilogy, I'm actually kind of excited for. I've played Hitman 1 for maybe like 5 or 6 hours, so not like a huge amount of time. I haven't played the second two, so I'm actually quite excited to try the like Hitman 2 and Hitman 3. I am not excited at all for Legends Arceus. It's just not. I'm not the biggest fan of Pokemon, to be fair. Like I played. I think I had Shield. I think.
Yeah.
And like I was playing it. I'm like, I mean, I'm enjoying it somewhat, but it's not a game that I'm gonna be like, I need to play this until absolute completion all the time. I need to catch every single Pokemon. It's not something I'm interested in doing. I've never actually played Uncharted, so I might pick up the collection.
Whoa, you never played Uncharted?
Yeah, I've never touched Uncharted.
I'll say this. I think Nathan Drake Collection is on PlayStation Plus. Collection on PS5, I think. Don't quote me. You can play Uncharted 4 without having played the first three, but Uncharted, if you play the first three before you do Uncharted 4, the payoffs of Uncharted 4 and the story moments will hit so much harder, and they will be so much more rewarding and satisfying. So
it is not Uncharted 4. A Thief's End is on the PlayStation Plus collection, but the Nathan Drake collection is not.
Okay.
According to this list here, I don't know how up to date this is.
Well, I mean, that's what the list says. That's what it is. No, they haven't added anything to it. I mean, I would see if you could play the first three before you do 4. I would see if you can. Because, I mean, like I said, you could jump into 4 without having played the others. But story-wise, character moment, like, there are so many different character beats and stuff that it just, they just hit. They're just so much more satisfying and worthwhile if you've played the first 3.
Yeah, I'm just quickly looking up how much the Nathan Drake collection is on PlayStation.
On the PlayStation Store, probably like anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks.
Yeah, it's like $13. I'm buying it.
Yeah, there you go. Do that. Yeah. Do that for sure.
But yeah, did we want to guess Metacritic scores for when?
That's what I was about. That's what I was about to say. Well, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if you want to do it for every single one, because I only have certain ones here on my phone. But if you want to do it for everyone, by all means, we can. Do you want to do it for everyone, or if you only want to do it for certain ones?
I'll say for this month we'll do the middle 3.
Okay. Wait, Hitman?
Rainbow, Pokemon, and Uncharted.
You want to do Uncharted too?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. No, we don't. I don't even need to do Uncharted. I mean, it's just a collection of 4 and Legacy of not Legacy of Thieves, Lost Legacy. I don't even think we need to do that one. I mean, it'll be probably the same, around the same score as the last one, as both those original games. Let's do Rainbow Six then first.
Okay.
What do you think Rainbow Six will get? I don't have that on my list in terms of like previous scores for the series. And on top of that, it'd be kind of tough to do since Siege came out years ago and has been updated over time. So Extraction, I'm betting, and I'm thinking let's try and do an exact number. Okay. So I'm thinking Extraction will be in the 70s. I'm gonna say 72.
Say 74.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking people will be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, it's fun, but like, you know, there are issues with it. It's more fun if you're playing with a team, solo plays and all that, enjoyable and stuff. I'm expecting there to be gripes with it. Now, Pokemon, another interesting one here for reference. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearls. I went back on this one. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl got a 73, and Sword and Shield both got an 80 on Metacritic. Now, of course, there have been other Pokemon games, like there's Pokemon Snap, there was Let's Go. I just wanted to look at the more mainline Pokemon games and before this one. So with that in mind, I'm thinking this is also going to be in the 70s. I'm going to say 75.
Okay. I was going to go a bit higher than that. I was going to go like 81, 82. Because I think people are still going to have complaints with it. I mean, like you just talked about, the graphics aren't all there, and I'm sure there's going to be other stuff. But I think that because this is something that Pokemon fans will have been wanting for so long, it might score a little bit higher.
Yeah, I get that. I think you said what, 79?
I said 81 or 82.
You said 81, 82. I'll go 78. I'll go 78 actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 78 on that one.
Moving on to games coming out in February, we have the Life is Strange Remastered Collection on February 1st, Dying Light 2 Stay Human February 4th, Sifu on February 8th, Crossfire X on February 10th, Horizon Forbidden West on February 18th, Destiny 2 The Witch Queen on February 22nd, and Elden Ring on February 25th. Out of all of these, I'm probably most excited for Horizon.
Okay.
Just like
I'm on the same boat as you. Yep.
I mean, the only other one that I'm like quite excited for is Crossfire X, but I'm excited for Crossfire X. Leave me alone.
No, be excited for it. It just looks bland.
I like first person shooters is my like go-to genre.
So no, yeah, I'm not saying you can't be excited for it. I'm just laughing at the game. Yeah. That's it.
So yeah, Horizon, I'm playing through I'm playing through Zero Dawn just now. And I'm really enjoying that. I'll talk about that when we get to what we've been playing. But like Forbidden West just looks like it's doing a hell of a lot more than Zero Dawn did in terms of like gameplay mechanics. So I'm excited for that. And then Crossfire X, it looks like the Battlefield campaign that we never got. Like again, maybe just like not as interesting. So
that'd be I don't see how you can make a campaign that's less interesting than the Battlefield one, but we'll see how they manage to hit that bar.
Yeah. Like I say, first person shooter is like my go-to genre. It's because I'm a boring person, so I'm excited for that.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't say Destiny in your top 3 because I know you like Destiny and all, but I know you've kind of been off Destiny for a bit too. So there's that.
I just I haven't been playing Destiny a whole lot just because it's just so complicated on like everything you need to do. Like that's
why I haven't replayed it.
Yeah,
so I haven't jumped back in, although it's still on my PS5 because I want to, but I just don't know.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, like I kind of enjoy it. I enjoy that about Destiny, that it does take a bit of time to like actually get to know how to do everything. But again, Destiny 2, I think, is a game that is best played when you're playing with other people, and I don't have other people who play. Like I almost exclusively 99% of the time play games by myself. So it's not like hugely entertaining for me aside from story.
Yeah, when I played Destiny 2 in my heyday when I was in college, I played it exclusively solo. Like I did raids. Like I would do raids sometimes with like do LFG, find some people for raids.
Yeah.
But I exclusively played it solo, but I had a blast playing it. And that was like my podcast game. Like I throw on Destiny 2. I'm like, all right, let's listen to the Game Scoop. Let's listen to Easy Allies. Let's listen to Kind of Funny. Let's listen to all y'all on the same day. And I'd sit there for like good 6 hours just playing Destiny 2, just doing that and doing podcasts and stuff. And that was my game. Then I got back home from college and then it was just like, hey, internet's kind of not the best. So I kind of can't play it all that much and the other games and time and stuff. So it just fell to the wayside. I do want to jump back into it though. That's why it's still on my PS5. Sometimes I think I should delete it. Yeah. But if you do, you got to download it again. You just put it onto your hard drive. You just put it onto the external. But what if you don't want to have to sit and wait for it to come back?
Yeah.
What if you don't want to just leave? So that's where it is for me right now. But Horizon is my most excited, my most anticipated for that month as well. I'm reviewing that for sure. Sifu was number 2 for me. Under that is Dying Light because I really enjoyed the first one. And then under that would be Elden Ring. I'm not excited to play it. I'm excited for everyone else. I'm excited for this game to come out and excited to see what people think of it, what people say, what crazy things happen in that game. Destiny will be under that because it's all the trailers for Destiny 2, Witch Queen get me so excited, but I'm just like, again, man, the time. Crossfire, I could not care less about. Life is Strange. Great games. I'm not going to play the remastered collection. One I have here on my list that I forgot to mention we should put on here, Ali World.
Oh yeah.
Ali World. That game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. Comes out February 8th. So that should be a good one. I've never played any of the other Ali games, but this one looks like it'll be cool. 2 L's. 2 L's and it's Ali, not Alo Ali.
There we
yep.
go.
There you go. He got it. Everybody.
Do you know-
So yeah.
Do you know what I've been thinking recently
What?
about a game I may pick up in February that I probably shouldn't, but like I kind of want to?
What is it? Dying Light?
No, Elden Ring.
Yeah. You know,
Like-
I think to myself too, I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe you should pick it up. Then I'm like, don't do that because you're gonna be just like in the Demon Soul situation.
Yeah.
You bought it and you played it for an hour and have not gone back to it, and you're just gonna keep putting it on the back burner.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have so many games to play, and hopefully I'll be finished some of them by the time
Exactly.
that Horizon comes out, at least. But like everything I've seen from Elden Ring, I'm like, this looks badass. This looks so badass. I really want to play this game. So for now, I'm thinking I'm actually going to pick up Elden Ring.
I'm on the fence. I may or may not. If I do, it's not going to be at launch. It'll be down the road, but I don't know. We'll see. Now, let's do Metacritics for these. What are you thinking of Dying Light 2? For reference, the first one got a 74, but the enhanced edition, I threw the enhanced edition in here because that has the following DLC and like all the updates that they added to it. The following the enhanced edition has an 86.
Okay. If I had to guess, because of all of the information we have gotten about the development of Dying Light 2, and it hasn't been the greatest, I'm gonna say like 79.
Okay.
But I think 79 with the potential to be lower.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm torn on this because I think the game's very ambitious. They're going really ambitious with this one as opposed to the first. And I think that can also be the game's undoing in a sense if they get trying to get too ambitious with things. I'm hoping it all turns out well though, because it looks like it's going to be really good. I'm gonna say 80. Okay. I'm gonna say 80, but like you said, it could potentially be lower.
Yeah.
I'm like 80. I think I'm gonna say 80, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like in the 75s around there. But I'm hoping for 80.
Yeah. I hope that game does well because I know there's a lot of people who enjoy Dying Light. And because of how long and how rough the development of that game has been, I want the developers to be rewarded with like, hey, everyone really enjoys your game. But I am not 100% confident on that.
Now, what about Sifu? For reference, this developer Slow Clap, they've only made one game before, as far as I know. That being Absolver. That one got a 60. I have 2 scores here for it. Only reason I'm saying the 2 is because they're like there's a difference in terms of like where they are. Okay. So it has a 69 for PS4,
nice,
75 on PC.
Okay.
So I wonder. I mean, based off previews I've read, Sifu sounded like it's going to be a step up over Absolver. So for me, I'm gonna say Sifu is an 88. I'm gonna say it's like an 83.
Okay. I'll say just a flat 80.
Okay. I was gonna say that at first, but I was like, no, I want to kind of bump it up a bit more. Nice 80. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nice
interesting. Number. We don't have to do Ollie Ollie World if you don't want to. I
have no inclination of what that game is whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like skateboarding and everything. We don't have to do that one. We'll skip over that one. Do you want to do Crossfire X?
It's gonna be low. like probably in the 60s. Like maybe it might creep into the 70s if it's lucky, but I'm expecting something in the 60s.
That's exactly what I'm expecting too. I'm not expecting anything great from that. Horizon, one of the big ones here. For reference, Zero Dawn has an 89 on Metacritic.
I am going to say that Horizon is gonna get a 94.
All right, hold on a second. A 94.
Yep.
A 94.
Is very good. I know.
I need to pull this up real quick, just so you have an idea.
This is when you're going to be like, no game has ever scored a 94 on Metacritic before.
I want to go down to where the 94s are on Metacritic's like best scored games of all time. All right. So I'm in the 94s now.
Mhm.
Number 100 is a 94. Okay, just for reference. But in terms of modern games, well, I'll just go up here. Grim Fandango, Metal Gear Solid, Street Fighter 4, Oblivion, Halo 3, BioShock Infinite, COD 4, Gears 1, Vice City, Mass Effect 2. I think I said BioShock, but Celeste, Mass Effect 2, Arkham City, Devil May Cry, God of War, the original 2018 one, Modern Warfare 2, Portal 2. Portal 2 is in 95. Those are the 94s.
Okay.
That's what's in the 94 range. I think it's gonna get up that high. I'm not saying it can't. I'm not saying it can't. I would just be very surprised if it scored that high. I'm expecting it to be like 92. I'm not thinking 94. And again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I would love for it to be 94, but I'm not thinking it will be. Like Witcher 3 is a 93.
Oh, no, that.
And that's the PC version of Witcher 3. Now, the console version might be a bit higher, but Witcher 3 on PC is 93 on here.
I am going to go with you and say 92. Because like I definitely think from what I have seen so far that Forbidden West will be a better game than Zero Dawn. I am in full belief of that. But like Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. And I'm sorry to the Horizon fans, but I don't think it's going to be that good.
Again, I certainly hope so. I mean, the potential's all there.
I hope it is, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm thinking 92. I'm thinking 92. That sounds like a nice safe spot. If it gets higher, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Though. I will go with you and say 92.
Okay. All right. I forgot to put Destiny on here, but Destiny 2, Witch Queen. What do you think that Metacritic will be? If you want me to get the others for reference. Sure. Destiny 2. Sure. Whoa. Okay. This is a bit annoying. Hold on. So Destiny 2 original got an 80. There we go. Destiny 2 original got 85. And then Forsaken was at 82. Shadowkeep 78. And I think I said Forsaken. Forsaken's 86.
Yeah.
Beyond Light is not appearing on here. Interesting. What do you think Destiny's will be?
I'm gonna go 87.
That sounds good. Beyond Light was a 77. I just pulled it up. I'm gonna say 80.
Oh.
I'm gonna say 80. Like Destiny 2 season. Destiny has a weird relationship. Well, not a weird relationship, but like Destiny 2, it's always like it does a whole lot of great things, and then there's like all these things it does that just annoy people every single time. So I don't think this will be like the knockout of the park one. I'm pretty sure it's going to continue that tradition of a lot of great things and then a number of things that people take issue with. That's just going to keep it from getting on high up. So I'm going to say 80. I think it's going to be a really great sport.
Yeah. No, I'm like I definitely think the Witch Queen is going to be on the same level as Forsaken, if not better.
Okay. Has potential. I think it does.
Yep.
Now, Elden Ring.
Okay.
For reference, going back in time, Sekiro got a 90. Bloodborne, 92. Dark Souls 3 and 89.
I am going to say the same thing I said. Well, my revised comment for Forbidden West, I'm going to say 92.
You're going to say 92 for Elden Ring?
No, I am going to say 94. I'm sticking with 94 this time. I think Elden Ring is going to be
that one.
Yep.
I could buy that. I could see that happening for Elden Ring. I could see it reach that 94 because I could see a lot of people saying like that this is from at their best, taking all the lessons they've learned, like I said before, from all their past games, bringing them all together in this open world that it's just it's just Dark Souls on another level. And I can kind of see a lot of people kind of saying that this is From's magnum opus, in a way, or the new magnum opus, the way that Bloodborne was in the past. So I could buy. I'm with you on that. I'm gonna say 94 as well, because I think it has the potential and has the potential to be up there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking. I'm trying to find how much the collector's edition of Elden Ring is.
Oh dear God. Money.
Yeah. Okay. So with that rounding out February, we're going to move on to March, which the releases are Tunic on March 16th. Again, these are just the most. I know I'm missing the first like half of March, but when I was looking through the
big
list,
notable ones.
yeah, when I was looking through, I was like, nothing really like massively notable is launching in the first half of March.
Yeah, I have the same ones you have.
Yeah. Tunic on March 16th, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin on March 18th, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands both on March 25th.
I'll start for this one.
Yeah.
So this is a weird month because like I'm excited for Tunic, but I'm like my excitement for it is real low because I just haven't seen much of it recently. It's kind of like fallen out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I am excited for it. I think I'm more excited for that than Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. No shade to Wonderlands. I'm sure it'll be a fun game. It's just not on my excitement radar at all. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I'm not sure whether or not I'm more excited for Kirby or Final Fantasy Origin. But I'm very much excited for both of those for different reasons. Kirby, I've never played a Kirby game, but Kirby and the Forgotten Lands looks like it's just going to be a joyful, fun time, like Kirby with like Mario gameplay. And I'm looking forward to it with all the excitement in the world. Stranger of Paradise, I'm excited about because that just looks like a weird Final Fantasy fever dream that tonally just does it. It's just all over the place. It's just absolutely bizarre tonally and story-wise. But the gameplay is actually fun. It's actually a fun game to play, even though we got some weird dialogue and Limp Bizkit playing in the font. It's just so weird. It is all over the place. But I want to play that game too. I'm not playing it on day one, but I want to play that game.
I am 100% picking up Wonderlands on day one. I am very excited for that game. It's Borderlands Dungeons and Dragons, which like inject that directly into my veins. 100% yes, please. I'm also quite excited for Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Like you, I'm gonna play it. Probably not at launch because it launches at one. It launches the same day as Wonderlands, but
Right.
two, it's not a game that I'm like, oh my god, I have to rush out and buy this. Tunic, I'm fairly excited for, but again, like you, I'm like my excitement for it's kind of like dwindling each month because I'm not really getting anything that's like, hey, play me. And then I am not excited for Stranger of Paradise at all.
That's totally fair. That is totally fair. All right, what are you thinking Metacritic wise for some of these? Do you want I mean, I think we could do each of them.
Yeah.
Maybe Tunic. I maybe not Tunic as well. I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm thinking it'll be like a 79.
Yeah.
Or an 80, like around there. No. I'm gonna say it's gonna be an 84.
Okay. I mean, if I had to go with a specific score, I'd say like I'll say 80, but my guess was between 75 and 80. Sorry, 75 and 85. Just around about there. Kirby.
Oh, hold on. You don't skipped over. No. Stranger of Paradise. For reference, this is made by Koei Tecmo Team Ninja. The past two games, Neo 2 got an 85 and Neo got an 88.
I'm going to say that Stranger of Paradise will also get an 85.
You think it's going to get an 85 as well?
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't look terrible. It looks like it can, and like, I might be remembering this incorrectly, and correct me if I am. but like the reception to the demos has been all right. Like it's like people have enjoyed it, but it's not been like hugely
Yeah.
great.
People have like enjoyed. People are like the gameplay actually like is fun and has depth to it. It's interesting. It's just that the world and the story. Well, it's just that the story is just like tone. Again, I keep saying this, but tonally, it's all over the place, and the dialogue is just so weird, and the characters are like just edgelordy in a sense. It is so weird, like and not that great. Um, so it's I imagine people will praise the gameplay, not like the dialogue or characters. How they feel about the story will depend on like how the story actually plays out.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay is what's going to carry that game a lot. Visually, it's also like not that it's fine, but not that impressive visually.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm thinking honestly, because again, people are going to go into this with a whole lot of bias too.
Mhm.
And like, they're either going to be along for the ride with this craziness, or they're going to be hating it every second of the way. I'm thinking that this gets like a 77.
Okay.
And you said what? You said an 80?
I think I said 85.
You said 85. All right, you shooting
think.
way higher than me, but
Yeah.
by all means, shoot for the moon, my friend.
Now we'll go on to Kirby and the Forgotten
Yes.
Land.
The past two, Kirby Star Allies got a 73. Kirby Planet Robobot got an 81. Now I'm not the most well versed in terms of Kirby games and
Neither
like
am I.
in terms of like gameplay and quality and so on and so forth. But I do know that this is a bit of a departure. Again, it has like the 3D Mario type of play style. Everything. This is like the first time that we're getting this in a Kirby game and all. Of course, Kirby games you always have like him sucking up people, getting different abilities and powers and stuff like that. It looks like it'll be a lot of fun. It looks like a neat and interesting departure from the Kirby norm. So that's kind of like a bit of a reference for Forgotten Lands here.
Yeah. Sorry, the reason I was like, it seems like Super Mario Odyssey-esque. I wonder what Mario Odyssey got on Metacritic, and it got 97. And I don't think that Kirby is going to get 97.
Yeah, no, I'm not shooting that high now.
Yeah. Although I do think it's going to be in the A's, and I'm going to say 84.
84? Okay. I'm going to go with 83. I'm going to go 83.
Okay.
I think people will be pleasantly surprised, but I think some people will. I think it'll be that everyone's generally pleasantly surprised. They will enjoy the game. So I think it's a great game, but not amazing or like bad or anything. It'll be like, it's a great game. It's a fun Kirby game. Now, Wonderlands, for reference, Borderlands 3 got a 78. Assault on Dragon Keep got an 87. I went to Assault on Dragon Keep specifically because that is what's directly inspiring Wonderlands. So what are you thinking here? What are you thinking?
I'm going to say that it's going to get an 85.
Okay.
Because, I mean, like, it's very heavily inspired by Dragon Keep because it's the most successful DLC in Borderlands, in any game. And Tiny Tina is like a bunch of people's favorite character from Borderlands 2. Like, if you were to ask me to like play out one scene in my head from Borderlands 2, it's when you first go to Tina's cave and she is dancing around a tied up bandit before she blows him up. So I am very confident that the things they are doing with this game are going to make people really like it.
I
especially
hope
from what we've seen so far. Sorry.
See, I'm hoping so because my thing with this is that I feel like people will either Borderlands itself, it's a bit divisive. When I say that, I mean people either like Borderlands humor or they don't. And they either like certain Borderlands characters or they don't. And Tiny Tina is a character that many people do like and all. But the world and people's tastes have changed a lot from Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, as you see with Borderlands 3 score, it got a 78. I didn't check Borderlands 2, but I'm pretty sure it got higher back in the day. And I do remember that when Borderlands 3 came out, a lot of people were like, yeah, it's just more Borderlands. And I know some people were kind of like tired of the Borderlands humor with Borderlands 3. They kind of wanted it to like not like totally change itself, but like for the humor to be like smarter or better and all like that. And I know some people like Tiny Tina and some people don't. And I know that even people that do like her, they like her in bursts. They don't like her like they want to, spend time with her, but they don't want to spend an entire game with her. So there's also the worry that having an entire game with Tiny Tina and her humor and everything and her writing and stuff being like the backbone of it, not just like a 5-hour experience. I can see that grating on people if it's not done right. And hopefully the gameplay does enough to distinguish itself from Borderlands 3 and, make it be like,
yeah,
it might look like it's just more Borderlands with a fantasy paint coat over it, but it's actually not. It's actually distinctly different. So it has all those things going against it. And so I'm honestly thinking that this is like, I'm thinking this is like a 77.
Okay.
I think 80 is the highest it gets. I'm thinking 77 though.
Just on your earlier comment, Borderlands 2 got an 89.
Hey, you see, Borderlands 3 got a 78. So
yeah, the biggest mistake, as a longtime Borderlands fan, the biggest mistake they made from 2 to 3 was not bringing Anthony Birch back for writing.
I wonder why that was.
So
I feel like I've like heard things, but I don't want to say anything because I actually don't really like know anything confidently. So all right, that's March there.
Yeah. Now I have 3 other months here that are all somewhat spread out, and they only have one game. So we're going to get through this really quickly. May is Forspoken on May 24th.
I'm very excited for this game. I know that last month or early this month, they put out like a somewhat short, like kind of gameplay video. I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes long. I don't know if it's still out there. I haven't got a chance to watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it when it was first released, although I wanted to. Before Spoken, man, I've been into this from the moment it was announced. And every time we see more of it, I get more excited. I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful for this game. There's a lot of potential here. It's a new IP from Square Enix, new interesting world, some cool gameplay that we're seeing. I'm hoping that there's more substance to it than, I hope it's not just all style and no substance.
Yeah.
I hope there is a whole lot of substance there too. I hope it's a genuinely fun game, interesting story, interesting characters. I hope all of that is there. We just gotta wait and see. Honestly, this game can go either way. I do not see this game getting below the 70s. I'm gonna say though, I think the Metacritic for this will be like, I'm gonna say 81. I desperately want it to be higher, but I think I think it will simply be a great game. I don't know if it's going to be like amazing or anything. I'm going to say 81 is like a safe number for me right now.
I was going to say 81 as well. Like I think people are going to enjoy this game, and I think people are going to really like it, especially in terms of combat and movement, if anything else.
Yeah.
But like story, I'm not 100% on. Like I'm not 100% that a majority of people will enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say A1. I have also been all in on this game since that initial trailer because it looks so freaking dope. Just like especially like just jumping from tree to tree. It looks amazing. So I'm all in on it. I just don't know if the community as a whole is all in on this game enough to get it above the 80s, specifically above 81.
We'll see. It really all depends on, I think, that story and that gameplay. Like if there's, depth to it, if it's fun. The story and the gameplay is what's going to like really matter a whole lot for this.
Yeah. Now we get to August, and probably one of the most divisive games on this list, the Saints Row reboot that is coming out on August 23rd. I, personally, am very excited for this. For everything we have seen so far, it looks like Saints Row. It looks like a lot of fun. No, it does not look like Fortnite. So I'm quite excited for this. I'm probably going to be picking this up day one.
Yeah, I was excited for this. Well, I was looking forward to it when it was first announced. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then we got the trailer that they showed, I think, during the Game Awards. Whatever the most recent trailer for the game was, that showed off way more gameplay. And I was like, now I'm excited for this.
The one
because I was
one with a plane going through the buildings.
I think so.
Yeah.
Basically, whichever one that was just basically it's all gameplay. That was like the last trailer that we got for a nice big showcase where I was like, all right, yeah, like the game, it was showing that this is still Saints Row. It's just nowhere near as crazy and out there as Saints Row 4. This is bringing it back to like Saints Row 3 types of silly and fun. So so I'm looking forward to that one. I'm very excited about it. For reference, Saints Row 4 got an 86 and 3 got an 84. I'm expecting this to be, I'm honestly expecting this to be in the same realm as Saints Row 3, around like an 80. I'm going to say 84 again. I think what's really going to matter a lot is, yes, the gameplay, but also the writing. Because Saints, again, the world has changed a whole lot from Saints Row 3 and 4. And people are going to be very critical of that writing if it's like too juvenile, too silly. If it's not, if the writing in this reboot is not done well, people are going to harp on that to death. And that's going to drag down like the score and for that game big time. So I hope the writing is done well, and I hope the gameplay is good. I hope it's not like, hey, I'm literally playing Saints Row 3 from like 10 years ago. Those things are going to matter the most for Saints Row. So I'm saying 84. I'm going to say that again.
See, for me, the most important thing that this game has to do is still keep the charm of the original Saints Row games, but differentiate itself enough to where it's not like I'm playing Saints Row 3 or Saints Row 4. It has to do something different, which from the trailers we've gotten so far looks like it's gonna do. So
yeah,
I am genuinely excited for this game. I'm gonna say 85 just to be pernicky about it, but I do think it is going to be in the 80s.
Okay, I like that.
And the final like solid month we have on here is Starfield on November 11th. This I'll let you go first on this actually.
All right, I'm gonna give the Metacritic scores for the past 3 games first before I kind of like get into this.
Okay.
Fallout 76, 53. Fallout 4, 87. Skyrim, 94. Okay. That's all to say that there's a lot riding on Starfield here. It's a new IP. It's a new IP that we know very little about, but there has a lot of potential behind it. It has a lot of potential to be a really exciting, wondrous, just breathtaking new game, new universe from Bethesda. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to kind of like, I don't want to say their Mass Effect, but like, Bethesda taking us on an adventure through space across different planets and worlds and all like that. Like I'm looking forward to Bethesda's version of that. And with how Bethesda games are and how in depth you can get with different systems and stories and everything, like it can be so amazing. But what's going to kill this game, well, not kill it, but what's going to really make or break this game is that engine. Now, I know they said new engine for this game, like they've heavily updated things and also it's basically a new engine. I know that, but Fallout 76 got that 53 because people were like, we're tired of the bugs. This game is way too buggy. There's like, on top of like, just gameplay and other stuff going on in the game, like kind of being bare bones lackluster. Like it was a buggy mess. And people aren't going to take that anymore. And Bethesda knows that, Microsoft knows that, so they know that this game can't be buggy. Like, not to say there can't be bugs in it, period, but it cannot be like the buggy like past ones have been. But aside from that, like, Starfield's the big unknown in terms of how well it's going to be, simply because we really know very little. And I think when we get a big showcase for it, probably this summer, I think that's what they said, we'll get a showcase. We'll get like a good look at it in the summertime.
Yeah.
That's when we'll be able to say for certain, like, all right, what we think the game will be able to be like in terms of score and all like that. So I don't know if I feel comfortable giving it a score right now. I'm not gonna say a specific number. If I was to guess though, I would guess this would be like in the 80 to 90 range, but I can't be any more. That's really broad and really general and really safe, but I can't get any more specific than that because we know very little about this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm definitely with you on like a lot of what you just said. Like, I am so excited for this game. I have been a fan of Bethesda Game Studios games ever since Skyrim came out, and I've bought every single one day one. Starfield isn't going to be any different. I think my headset just died, but I'll continue my point until I'm finished talking about Starfield. So I'm super excited for this game. I'm also kind of wary about this game because we know so little about it and because it's the first new IP from Bethesda in 25 years. And I think they might have gotten used to just making Elder Scrolls and Fallout. So I'm a little bit, not that I don't have faith in Todd Howard, because if there is one person in the video game industry I trust to make a good game, it's Todd Howard. But at the same time, I'm not going to go into it like a Bethesda fanboy, I guess you could say, and be like, no, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. That's not me. Like, I am absolutely excited for it. I am a little bit wary, but I have the same idea as you. I don't feel comfortable putting a specific score on this because we have seen so little and we know so little about it. But I am going to say this is between 85 and 95. That's the range I'm giving this, because I think it has the potential to be better than any of their previous games.
I think so too. There's a good chance. There's a good chance of it. I'm going to keep on talking while he figures out his headset situation. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential here behind Starfield. It's just a matter of whether or not it's actually fulfilled and capitalized on, and all that stuff. It's going to be an interesting game to see when we eventually get it at the end of the year. And hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully it's amazing. We always say it on the show, we gotta wait and see. Keiran's 85 to 95 range, bit more specific than me. I mean, I think it's very likely to end up in that range for sure. I would be very surprised if it ends up like higher than 95. 85 to 95 seems like a very good range. That's probably like as specific as I myself would get to. I don't think I would get more specific than that. But I'm going to be a bit safer than him and just go 80s to 90s in that broad general range, just to be safe and cover all my bases. So that's my thoughts on Starfield and its Metacritic score. Keiran, are you back? Do you hear me?
I am back.
All right, cool. I was rambling a bit there at the end just to try and make sure that you were all good and set.
Yes, I can hear. I'm using crappy headphones now, but yes, I can hear you.
Nice.
Okay, that is really all of the like firm date games that we have. We do have a bunch of TBA games to go through. I'm probably going to rattle off like 1 to 11 first, and we can talk about it, and then the rest. Just so I'm not like listing off a massive list of games all at one go.
Yeah.
So 1 to 11 on this list, I have a Plague Tale Requiem, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Cyberpunk 2077 Next Gen, Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed, Ghostwire Tokyo, God of War Ragnarok, Gotham Knights, GTA 5 Next Gen or current gen, depending on your definition,
New
Hog-
gen.
yeah,
Let's say that to be safe.
yep, and Hogwarts Legacy. Those are the first half of this list that I have here.
I know you were about to say Hogwarts Legacy, but I swear to God, I thought you were about to say Hollow Knight Silk Song. I'm like, that is not on this list, but will it into existence if you want to. You can will it into existence, but it's not on this list, sir. It's not on the it's on the list. Okay, he literally is put on the list, although that game does not exist. Anyway, it doesn't exist except for in the hearts and minds of the fans who want it to happen.
There have been new things come out recently that point to it releasing this year.
People kind of said the same thing last year, didn't they? I joke. I have no idea if people said that last year. All right, yeah. Well, how do you want to do this? How do you want to do this? You want to just take turns going on each of these games, or just each of us kind of calls out a specific one that we really like? How do you want to do this here?
Yeah, just I would say go through and pick like maybe 2 or 3 that you're excited for.
That's too difficult for me to do. Because I got thoughts on a number of these. So I'll keep my thoughts on. I'll keep my thoughts on some of these brief then. Plague Tale Requiem, I'm very excited for. I played the first one recently last year with the PS5 version. First one, I believe I would say it's underrated. I am very excited for the second one. I hope the second one is just as good, if not better, than the first. I think if they kind of refine some of the combat encounters, and I think that it'll be a better game. The stealth stuff was cool. I think if they made the game a bit more challenging, then I think it'll be a better game, because the first one had some challenge, but like it was also a very easy game. Like the only challenge I ever had with it was like maybe a few combat encounters where it was like, all right, like camera's kind of working against me here. The aim is kind of working against me. I'm not able to get this right. But other than that, the game was very easy. Not like it was a bad thing. But still great game. Looking forward to that. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, we know basically nothing about. Gotta see more of it, but I'm excited at the idea of it. Bayonetta 3 could be cool, should be fun. I gotta play the second one, still got to. I'll play at some point, hopefully soon. Modern Warfare 2 is the Call of Duty game that I am the most excited for. I've not been excited for a Call of Duty game since the first Modern Warfare reboot came out in 2017. Or no, that's a lie. Dates are all wrong in my head. 2019, my mistake. Because Cold War came out and I was just like, okay, that's a thing that happened. Vanguard just came out, not really excited for it at all. Didn't really care too much about it. Modern Warfare, though, that first one, it was a great game. Really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it even though I hated so much about it. Like I hated the spawn system. I actively despised it. I hated the fact that the game basically became a job for me playing it. But dear Lord, I absolutely enjoyed playing that game. Weapons felt great. I liked most of the maps. The campaign was really good. Like it was genuinely a really good game. But so because of that, like that is why everyone in the Call of Duty community has just been waiting for the next Modern Warfare. The Black Ops Cold War, we were like, all right, it kind of is what it is. Vanguard, this is not what we want. It's kind of running on the hamster wheel till the next Modern Warfare comes out. So hopefully this one's great. Hopefully this one pushes the series forward some more. And yeah, I hope it's a good game at the very least. Cyberpunk. I'll say this. The next gen version of Cyberpunk on its own will not get me to play that game again. Drop the DLC at the same time, I'll play the DLC. I'm not playing it just because it's next gen though. Like better visuals, that's all well and good. That is not going to be enough to get me to replay this game. So if you talk about DLC, different story. But just next gen, fine, is what it is. Ghostwire, I know, like, yeah, we got a trailer recently, but I'm still like kind of clueless on like just what exactly the game is going to be and how I think it's going to turn out. But I want to know more about it. I do. But that's the big mystery. I'm going to skip over God of War because I know you and I will have a bunch to say about that.
Yeah.
Together. Gotham Knights, that first gameplay demo seemed cool. The most recent trailer was very intriguing. I definitely want to know more about it. Looking forward to that one. GTA 5 next gen. Now you're getting me to replay that with just a new gen version because I love GTA 5. I've played that game 1, 2, 3. I've replayed that entire game 3 times, start to finish. You can get me for a fourth, guarantee you that. And Hogwarts Legacy, rumors are actually popping up like within the past day or two that this game is getting delayed to next year. So who knows if it comes out this year, but if it does, I'm very much looking forward to it. Watching some of the Harry Potter movies recently and the 20th anniversary special that they did has kind of reinvigorated my love for the Harry Potter franchise alongside my girlfriend, just like in the past couple months, really showing that, she doesn't just like Harry Potter, she loves Harry Potter. So like that itself was bled into me too. So I am very much looking forward to this game. Hopefully it comes out this year. It'll be a blast.
Yeah. You missed out number 12.
I didn't because we were just doing the first 11.
Okay.
If you want me to do number 12, though, I mean, I don't have anything to say. I never played it. I haven't played the first Hollow Knight. I'll play it at some point, but it's not on my like rush to playlist.
Plague Tale Requiem. Like, I'm not super excited for it right now because I haven't played Innocence. I do plan to, so my excitement will probably go up for Requiem once I play Innocence. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, I am actually quite excited for. Just the premise of an Avatar game. I really enjoy the movie. I'm really looking forward to the second movie, which I think is coming out this year, maybe next year. I can't remember.
I believe it's supposed to be this year.
Yeah. So I'm quite excited for that. Bayonetta 3, I will try and play the first two at some, like I've played the first hour of the first one or something like that. So I'll try.
You bring it off for the story and just enjoy the gameplay.
Yeah.
Tell you that much. Not only the story's bad, but it is just serviceable. It's serviceable. Turn your brain off for the story. Enjoy the flashy stuff that happens. Enjoy Bayonetta as a character and just have fun with the combat.
I am like very excited for Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare, the reboot, is my favorite Call of Duty I've ever played. So I am very excited for Modern Warfare 2. Whenever that comes out, please fix your spawning multiplayer system. Thank you. Cyberpunk 2077, the next gen version, I will play when it comes out. I can't say that I'm like ecstatic for it. Like, I thought Cyberpunk 2077 was a really good game, but that's not a game that I'm like, oh my God, I have to jump on this. Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. Really enjoyed the first one. I'm a big Destroy All Humans fan, so I'm looking forward to play that. Ghostwire Tokyo, don't care about. God of War Ragnarok. Like you said, I assume we both have a lot to say about this. God of War, the 2018 reboot, is in my top 3 games I've ever played. I am so hyped for Ragnarok. I'm a big Norse mythology buff. I really enjoyed, like I say, the 2018 reboot. Kratos obviously is one of like the most well-liked video game characters ever. So
he is.
Yeah. I'm super pumped for this game. Like, unbelievably pumped.
Yeah, I've been ready for this from the moment I finished the original God of War. And once they announced it, I was just like, thank you. And then once we got that most recent trailer, I was like, thank you even more. Yep. And I'm counting down the days for this game. My excitement for it is, I'm very excited and very hyped, but it is not peak excitement yet because we don't have a date. No. It's still a ways out. So I'm like, all right, I'm excited. Once we get another trailer, once we get that date, then the hype train will really begin.
Yep.
But as of right now, I'm just like, give me this game. I want to play it. I'm ready for it. I can't wait to do it. I cannot wait to jump back into that world. Hopefully, I can find time to get a replay of the first one in before Ragnarok comes out. Hopefully, I can. It depends on just games this year and my time outside of that. We will see, though. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I definitely plan to play the 2018 God of War before Ragnarok comes out. But like, as an example, if Ragnarok comes out in November, I will probably replay God of War in October.
Okay. That would be too soon for me to do it.
Yeah. I'll replay.
I wouldn't want them to step on each other's toes. Like Horizon, I wanted to replay Horizon before Forbidden West, but if I was to do it, I would not do it now, because if I do it at this point, like it's basically going to bleed right into that one, and then my perspective of the second one might be skewed as being too samey or whatever. Like if I was to replay the game, I would want to do it at least 3 months prior to the game actually coming out.
Fair. Gotham Knights, I'm quite excited for. I really enjoyed the first gameplay thing we got. I would like to see more before I'm like, yeah, I'm hyped on this game or not. GTA 5 next gen, I might get it, I might not. Like I've played GTA 5 probably the same amount of times as you, like 3, maybe 4. So like I might get it once I actually see some gameplay and see if they're like how different things are. That's when
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like the most recent trailer, it was just like, where's the difference?
Yeah.
Spot the difference between these two pictures.
Yeah.
They're
so
the
like,
same picture.
Yeah. So once we see gameplay for it, then I might be like, oh my god, this is so different. It looks like a million times better. I'm gonna get it, but I'm not super hyped on it.
Yeah, that's what I would need to.
Hogwarts Legacy. Don't tell my sister. I'm quite a fan of Harry, but like I pretend around her that I hate Harry Potter because she hates every movie that I like. So I'm just like, oh, I hate Harry Potter because her favorite movies are Harry Potter. I'm actually quite a fan of Harry Potter, so I'm actually quite looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. I will be getting this game day one regardless, because if I don't, I think my sister genuinely might kill me because she knows this. Like my sister doesn't play video games at all. Like I got her a Switch for Christmas because she plays Animal Crossing and she plays Minecraft, but like she doesn't necessarily like super care about them. She just plays them because she enjoys them and she passes the time. But like when she learned this game existed, she was like, "You are getting that game for something you own. I don't care what." I'm like, okay.
Okay. All right. Guess I am.
Yeah. So I'm getting this game day one, regardless of whether it's for me or whether it's for my sister. Okay. We're gonna go through the last 12. Hollow Knight Silksong I added that to the list. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake, Redfall, Skull and Bones, Sonic Frontiers, Splatoon 3, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel, Lord of the Rings Gollum, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt next gen. I'm again
You go first.
Okay.
I went first on the last bit, so you go first. Unless you want me to go first, as you just did a bunch.
That's why I was gonna have you, because I'm like, my throat
that
needs
makes
a little
sense.
bit of a break.
That makes sense. Lego Star Wars. Haven't played a Lego game in God knows how long, but the Lego Star Wars ones are always my favorite. So I'm very much looking forward to this, especially since it looks like they're doing new stuff in terms of gameplay. Very excited about it. Cannot wait for that game to come out. Mario Rabbids. I didn't play the first one, just had no real interest in it, so I probably won't play this, but I'm happy it's being made though. Since I thought the first one was a cool idea and people liked it, I wanted to see more of that. So I'm happy it's being made. Marvel's Midnight Suns. I have no interest in this game, but I'm happy it's out there for the people that are interested in it.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. Fix your game. Let's make that game look good now. Maybe I'll play it when it comes out eventually. Maybe I will. I like the original, so maybe I'll play this one. Redfall. It's a mystery, to be honest. I mean, we saw the CG trailer, but we kind of know very little outside of that. There was leaked screenshots of like alpha gameplay and all. But I mean, kind of didn't really give much of an idea of the game outside of there will be loot, color-coded loot, as there is in many games these days. So we gotta wait for actual gameplay on that one for me to have an actual opinion on it. Skull and Bones, it doesn't exist in my mind until we actually see gameplay. Sonic Frontiers, cool for Sonic fans. Once I see actual gameplay, again, then I'll have a better informed opinion on it. But I haven't played a Sonic game in a very long time. Splatoon 3 looks like it'll be a lot of fun, like a blast. I haven't played any Splatoon games though, so I'm not like all that hot on it, but it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. Suicide Squad, I am looking forward to. The most recent but the most recent trailer we got that had like, gameplay footage in it. Gave me a better idea of what the game will be like in terms of playing it. So hopefully it's a good game. I'm really hoping it is. The potential is there for it to be great. It takes place in the Arkham universe that Rocksteady themselves made. So I'm looking forward to meeting the Justice League of that universe, seeing what's going on with the Batman in that universe, because I'm sure Batman is not actually dead. Sorry, spoilers for Arkham Knight if you haven't played it yet. So there's that. Breath of the Wild. Oh yeah. Well, hold on. I'll get to Breath of the Wild in a moment. Lord of the Rings Golem, I don't care. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, that's cool. I haven't played The Witcher 3. Probably will never play it because I'd rather play the first two before playing 3. And because the first two are not easy to get access to, probably will never play Witcher 3. But next gen version of it is cool. Now, Breath of the Wild sequel. I am excited for this game to come out for the people who love it, which is basically everyone in the world who's not me. And again, not that I hate it, Breath of the Wild. I don't hate it. I've only played a small chunk of it. I do want to go back to it and actually like try and give it more of a fair shake. But I think Breath of the Wild is massively overrated. I do want to try and play the original before the sequel comes out, though. So if it comes out this year, well, here's the thing. I'm hoping that they don't like Nintendo doesn't do it like the Nintendo thing they've been doing recently and just like be like, oh yeah, the game's coming out in 2 months.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, all right, where am I gonna find the time to like drop everything and play the first Breath of the Wild in a matter of 2 months? Like, come on now. Knowing Nintendo, that is something they would do. But I'm very curious about the sequel for Breath of the Wild, I should say. I'm excited out of curiosity about what new stuff this game will do in regards to this gameplay, mechanics, systems, and the world of Hyrule. Please get rid of weapon degradation for the love of God. That would instantly make me enjoy it way more than I currently do with the first Breath of the Wild. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see with Breath of the Wild sequel, what that ends up being like.
Okay. Hollow Knight Silk Song. I think everyone knows my thoughts on it. Please give me that game now. I'm 100% in. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I'm not like 100% on it, but I am intrigued by it. Like I want to, not necessarily that I want to see more. I think I just need more time to kind of like sit on the idea of getting it. Just because like I'm not the biggest fan of Lego games. I enjoy them to an extent, just not like my go-to, like, oh yeah, I need to get this game. So like I have some level of excitement for it because I mean, like Tyler said, they're doing some different things in terms of gameplay. And I love Star Wars. So I am gonna be getting this game. I just don't know like how eager I am to get it soon. Or soon after it comes out. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I played a little bit of the original. It's fun-ish. It's again not my kind of game, so like I'm probably not getting Sparks of Hope, but I might give it a go at some point. I mean, if my brain being unpredictable needs proof, I'm planning on getting Elden Ring, which is not a game I ever thought I would play. So, Marvel's Midnight Suns, don't care. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake, I'm 100% getting. I am a big Prince of Persia fan. That game has a lot of nostalgia for me, so I'm definitely getting that. Redfall, I want to see more of it, but it has vampires in it, so I'm getting it. Easiest way
to get you to get a game.
Yep. Skull and Bones, like Tyler, doesn't exist until I see gameplay. Although I think that game has potential because Black Flag was my favorite Assassin's Creed for a long time. And if the ship combat is like what it was in Black Flag, then I'm probably going to get it.
That game has gone through so much trouble, so many iterations that honestly, whatever we last saw of it, I don't believe the game looks like that anymore. That's what I'm saying. The game, whatever Skull and Bones is, it does not exist until we actually see something new. So I have nothing to say about that.
Yeah. Skull and Bones is evolved into like Viva Pinata 3.
God.
Sonic Frontiers, until I see gameplay, I don't care. Splatoon 3. I played the original Splatoon. It was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. So I'm probably not going to get Splatoon 3. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. 100% getting that day one. The gameplay that we saw looks absolutely dope. I am 100% in on that game. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I am excited for it. I don't think what we've seen for it so far was very good. I like in again, I think I said this when we talked about it. I thought we would have seen more. I wanted to see like an actual gameplay demo of it and not like a trailer, but that's just me. So like I'm excited for it. I enjoyed the original, but it's not something that like as of right now I'm like, holy crap, I need this game.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings Gollum, I am probably gonna get. I am a big Lord of the Rings fan. And I am excited for that game. I would like to see more of it before I'm fully hyped. And as I mentioned earlier, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is one of my favorite games of all time. So I am absolutely playing the next gen version whenever it comes out. I am very, very excited for that game.
Okay. Now, real quick, before we bounce out of this, just I know we kind of can't say really Metacritic for a lot of these, but I just want to toss Metacritic your way for a few of these, okay?
Yep.
Really just the ones that we could probably guesstimate, maybe, based off what we know. Those being God of War. God of War, guesstimate that one. I guess, yeah, that and Breath of the Wild. Based off just what we would assume, what we hope, what we are thinking for those. Breath of the Wild, if I'm right, it's like a 97. It's like very close to 100. God of War, I think, is around the 95 range, I believe.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is 97.
I was spot on.
Yep.
Yes. I knew it wasn't 99, but I knew it was super high. I am a god.
I don't know why, but that just reminded me of like the meme. It's like, I'm in danger.
And what did I say for God of War just now?
I don't know if you said a number.
I thought I said 95, but it's 94.
Yeah, I was going to say you are one off. It's 94.
Yeah, one off, very close. But
your God's days has been revoked.
No, I still got it for Breath of the Wild. Spot on. Like, wow, that was pulled a number just out of thin air. So God of War Ragnarok. What are you thinking? Stakes are high on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 95. I think I would be pushing a lot if I went higher than 95, because I think for the first one, it took a lot of people by surprise, and everything was like, not only that, it took a lot of people by surprise, it was just a genuinely very well-made game, like a bona fide masterpiece. I think now that the surprise will have worn off, people's expectations will be higher, and then be like, now how are you going to surprise me? What are you going to do now to like, improve on the previous one and, take the story in a new direction, what have you. So I think it's going to do a whole lot of, it's going to do some new stuff to really impress people more this time. So I'm thinking 95. I think it can get higher than 94, but I don't know if it's going to be in like 97, 96, whatever. I think 95, safe bet.
Yeah, I was going to say the same as the original. I'm going to say 94. I think that people are really going to enjoy that game, but like you say, they have to do something different and push it and evolve the series a little bit more. But I think that the lowest it's going to score is 92 or 93.
Okay, I can see that as well. Now, Breath of the Wild's sequel, the original, again, as I said, 97 out here. I mean, people hold up Breath of the Wild as like the best thing since sliced bread. That's me exaggerating a bit and being hyperbolic, of course. But like, they hold it up there as like one of the greatest games ever. People make top 100 games ever made lists now, and people put up there in the top 10, sometimes like number 1. So like, what does it need to do? The sequel needs to do for it to like be held up in that same type of acclaim and all. Like that's the making a sequel to a game that people consider the best game ever made. That's not a tall task. I mean, that's not an easy feat to accomplish. That's a tall order right there. I do not think the score is higher than the original.
No, neither do I.
I think this will be anywhere from 94 to 97.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you on that. I definitely don't think that this score is higher than the original. I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. Unless like they pull off some sort of miracle. But I'm gonna say 92 to 97. Because
Okay.
just to give it a little bit more range. But I do think that it is gonna be somewhere very close to what it was or what the original was.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to say that it can't get higher than 97. I think
Yeah.
that it will be difficult for it to get higher than a 97.
Yeah.
For it to get higher than the original, that would be just, again, super impressive. I want to try and pull up again just best games, like the best scores of all time.
IGN's number one game of all time is Breath of the Wild.
Right. Yeah. So like above 97, above the original Breath of the Wild, we have let's see, GTA 5 is in the 97s, Galaxy and Galaxy 2 are the 97s, but 98 was number 5 here. GTA 4 in the Soul Calibur is number 4. GTA 3 also, again, different platform, but still it's 98, number 3. Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, 98. And then the number 1 is Ocarina of Time, the original version of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, is Breath of the Wild sequel about to be on the same level as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2? Who knows? But or the original Ocarina of Time? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible. It can happen. But I think it'll have to pass a very high bar, that being the original Breath of the Wild and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
I don't think it's fair that on the top 100 game or the top 100 games on Metacritic, GTA 5 has both the 9th and 10th place.
It's just two different placements, just like GTA 4. GTA 4 has 2, but they're both 98.
I don't agree. That should be different.
Is what it is, man. Take it up with Metacritic.
But that is, I think, the end of our conversation about what specifically what games are releasing in 2022 in terms of the more notable releases, but also games we are excited for coming out this year.
Yeah,
So
it's looking forward to being like a really great year. And this is just what we know about. Like,
yep.
That's not even taking into account games that release that we don't know about. And of course, these are, as you said, these are like the very like noteworthy games, the games of note. Like, that's not even taking account some of the indie games that are coming out this year that like I actually want to play and I'm looking forward to. Like Sea of Stars in the holiday season. Oh my God, the game looks gorgeous. I so want to play that one. Afterlove EP, I want to play. Like, there's a bunch of games outside of these that are coming out. So it's gonna be a great year for games.
Yeah, I'm super excited to play Loot River whenever that comes out this year.
Right. Final Fantasy 16 should be coming out this year too. Oh my gosh. Hopefully it comes out this year. Hopefully, maybe. That should have been on the list actually. But yeah, I wouldn't even be able to predict a Metacritic for that anyway. So
no. With all that, the way we are going to talk about what we've been playing, I'm going to add in something here just because I said I was going to talk about it this week.
Okay. Oh, got it. Right. Forgot your PS5 thoughts in general.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? You want to start? You want me to start? Up to you.
What number am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Between 1 and 10.
8.
I didn't have a number. I'll go first.
What was the point of me doing that then?
I was like, oh no, yeah, I'll do this. So like, I don't know. Anyway, I'll start off with my PS5 thoughts so far. Although I don't actually think I'm going to go super in depth with it because I think we talked about a lot about like specifically the DualSense last week. On my thoughts, but I mean, it's a really, really good console. I'm loving the home screen. it's super easy to get, like, just because I've been so used to the Xbox dashboard for ages, and it's not like I think because I've used that dashboard for like years, I know where to get to everything. But
Right.
like it's so nice just to like turn on a dashboard I've never used before and just be able to navigate it really well.
Right. So
Um
would you say that this one, again, like you said, you've used the Xbox One for years, so you know
yeah,
it at all. But like, would you say that the PS5 one is easier to use than the Xbox One?
100%. Like
Good.
without question.
I think objectively that is just the correct answer. I know
Yeah.
I've seen people say, "Well, no, the PS5 one is not easy." I don't see how it's not easy to use.
Yeah.
It's very easy to use.
Yeah. Like it's just it's like you want to get to the store, it's on the very left of the screen. You want to get to your settings, it's right up there. It's
Yeah.
it's just so simple to navigate. Um I haven't used a lot of the like the help features for like trophies and games. Like you can go to the game bar and like
Yeah. Some of them will
yeah,
have like, hey, here's game tip, like help
yeah, yeah,
like to
game
figure
tip.
this thing out. It depends on like, it's up to the developers to put it in their games.
Yeah,
And sometimes like it's not even helpful. It's like, all right, what's your task? Continue the story. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. What's the
Um
task? Discover how to get out this room. All right, view more details. Discover how to get out the room. Duh. Ask you more details. Discover how to get out.
yeah,
Figure it out.
yeah. So I haven't used that a whole bunch. I haven't used any of the share features as of yet. I might. I don't know if I need like a screenshot or something. I don't know. Um, Install times I have actually noticed to be faster than my Series X. So
Mhm.
I'm very happy about that. The one thing I don't like is when I go so like when I initially got it, obviously I had like 4 or 5 games on disk to install. And when I put them in, it would install like the game, but it would install an update at the same time. So like the speeds would be slower for each of them because it's downloading 2 things at the same time. So I ended up going in and pausing the updates for all of them and doing those after because it would be quicker.
Wait, say that. Wait, hold on. So say that one more time. You said that you put the disc in,
Yeah.
it is installing the game, and then
Yeah.
it starts downloading the update for said game.
Yeah.
So you're saying that when, say for one game, you put one game in, it's installing the game from the disk, download the update for the game as well. So what is doing that for the one game? You're saying that the update was slower because it's installing at the same time?
But like both of the things were slower because it was installing at the same time. So for instance, it like when I put in Returnal, it was in copying Returnal from the disk, but also installing Returnal version 2
Yeah.
point whatever it is. So because of
I've
that,
never had that be slow. Like that's like I'm pretty like though the disk install, goes by quickly, and then the download will also be going by quickly for me as well at the same time. Like I've never had like the download be slow because the disk install is happening at all.
interesting. No, when I put in Returnal, it was downloading the update at the same time. It was going to take Returnal. It was something like 300 hours to install. But then as soon as I paused the update, it took 20 minutes.
What's to install off the disk?
Yep.
So you paused the download update and then your install off disk was like 20 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, that's weird. That doesn't happen. Like the install for the disk it's never been like 300 hours because the install off the disk is just all right. You put it in, it's just installing, and it goes by very quickly.
Yeah.
So don't know what that was about.
But like it's done it for every game I've installed by disk. I want to say except Final Fantasy.
Never had that happen. I'll tell you that much. Like the install off disk, it goes by real quickly, and then it will be downloading the update at the same time. And the update download just depending on my internet speed, but the download update isn't crazy long or crazy longer than it should be.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Trying to think if I have any other thoughts on PS5. The DualSense is still very impressive. I'm enjoying that a lot. I do plan on picking up the purple one at some point this month.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all the thoughts I have on the PSI. Like I say, I think we talked a little bit about it last week, so I don't really have a huge amount left to say.
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me.
Did work. I've played a bit more Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't progressed hugely in that game. I've done the proving mission, and I have. I think I'm on my way to find Olin, so like I'm really not much further than I was last week.
Yeah.
I will say I have played up until this point in the game before. I can't remember exactly where I got to last time, but I know it was further than this. So nothing like up until now is really going to surprise me.
Yeah.
I also haven't played a huge amount more of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've done Jesse's mission, and I have gone back and I've fought the ghost.
Yeah, you did you did that whole section.
Yeah. I think I'm on my I am waiting. I think I went to the train station. No, I'm further than that. I'm in this bit where you're on like the under the plates.
Yeah, so like you're with Tifa and Barrett. You guys went to the train station already, through the tunnels, and now you're trying to get up into the you're trying to get to the reactor.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm there.
Gotcha.
I'm in the process of activating the 3 lights.
Gotcha. I think that's chapter 6 or 7, one of the two. You're around there.
I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, still very much enjoying that game. Still very much like not what I expected it to be, and I'm loving it so far.
Nice.
And then I finished Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. For anyone who follows me on Twitter, you will have seen like my final thoughts on that game. In fact, I'll pull it up right now. You will have seen my final thoughts on that game. I really enjoyed it.
It's an awesome game. Really great game right there. Amazing game.
So on Twitter, I said, finished Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart last night. A truly enjoyable game filled with laughs, great story, crazy weapons, stunning visuals, and enough nostalgia to last the rest of the year. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's one I'll happily run around like a hamster 9 out of 10. So I am, I'm very, very glad I played it. I'm very glad that was the first game I like properly played through on PS5, because it does a really good job of like showing you the things the DualSense controller can do. Does a really good job of displaying visuals on the PS5. It's easily one of the best looking games I've played in recent memory. And like, I just love Ratchet and Clank so much. They're just very fun games. Insomniac does a really good job with all of them. So I am, all the ones I have played at least, and I am very, very happy that I played that game first.
Nice. Awesome. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah,
cool.
Does my money carry over to challenge mode?
Believe so.
Okay, because I have like 200.
All your weapons do.
Yeah.
Like basically everything you unlocked carries over.
Yeah, because the last, I haven't played that game since I finished it. Basically, I think I played it for like 2 or 3 hours after I finished it, and I was basically like farming for trophies, going through and like killing 30 people with the thing that turns people into plants and doing all that stuff. So I need to do challenge mode to get the rest of the weapons so I can get all the trophies.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm pretty sure, I believe the money carries over to challenge mode. So yeah, you're all good. No worries over there. So this week I barely played any games this week, to be honest. Mainly just because I just wasn't really in the mood to play anything. Like there were some days where where mentally I was just like down in the dumps, and other days it was like, do I want to play something? Do I want to watch something? And then by the time I kind of make a decision, the decision is made for me because it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, well, the decision's been made. Not playing anything or watching anything. So really did not play too much. I played like a match or two of Knockout City this week. Playing the Alien map, the new map they had it. It's cool. It's a cool little map right there. Got some UFOs you can fly around on. It's fun. Played a bit of Forza Horizon 5 last night. Did like a few races. I still cannot. I just don't like the driver tires in that game are fine, but they are also very annoying. Where it's like highly skilled. Okay, I cannot get past any of you at all. And it's very annoying, especially when like you go to do a championship. because that's what I was doing last night. I was like, all right, let me try a championship. And the championship locked the difficulty at highly skilled. My first attempt, I was like neck and neck at the very end, was neck and neck with first place. Couldn't get past it. I'm like, all right, restart event. After that, I could not even get past second. Like couldn't get past second, could barely reach third or fourth. Because I don't know, like the drivatars, they are just locked in on the track. They are locked in to not make any mistakes, and somehow, some way, you either just cannot get past them or they just pass you, and it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, the drivatar difficulty in this game. Even if they're not like on highly skilled, like even if you go from like average to above average, you hit above average, and like even then, like sometimes sometimes they're easy, but other times it's just like, nah, fam, you are not getting past us no matter what you do. It is absolutely annoying, the drivatar difficulty in this game at times, which is, I think, is part of why I haven't played it in a while, because I just don't feel like beating my head against the wall trying to beat these drivatars. The game is beautiful and I like driving around in it, but sometimes the races are just annoying because of the drivatars. So that's kind of my thoughts on Forza. And I mean, I only played it a bit last night because I was like, I don't really want to play Halo, nor do I want to. I don't know if I want to play Far Cry. I don't want to play Crease Tales, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So I said, I'll just pop in Forza, drive around, do some stuff. But I did start playing Crease Tales earlier this week. I don't know if did I talk about it last week on the show or no?
Nope.
I did not. Okay, yeah, because at the time I had started it. But my girlfriend got me this for Christmas. And I would have played it during the Christmas like break that we had and all like that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to knock out Guardians and Metroid first because I knew there were shorter games I could play for Goaty Talk. So Crease Tales, it's a JRPG. It's an indie game, JRPG-esque inspired. Plays this little girl named Creasebell. She turns out to be a time mage, and she meets this talking frog named I forgot its name. I forgot the frog's name, but she meets this frog that could talk and kind of tells her like, hey, you're a time mage, you can do these things. And then she also has these other companions, Wilhelm, who's another mage, and he kind of like does stuff with the with nature and all. And another guy named Christopher, who has like this shield that can break into two different swords. And it's actually really cool. When he fights in combat, he has this shield, and he goes like, he's like, yeah, pow, pow, and he puts it back together. Super cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's neat. So yeah, it has a really cool, like cute storybook kid storybook art style that I really enjoy. And the story is simple. You're Creasebell. You're going on this journey with your companions to try and stop the evil empress in the world, essentially. But it has a cool time mechanic where, as a time mage, Creasebell can affect the past and the future. She can do this in combat, where like you can send an enemy into the future, and by doing that, you age them up. So you can either make them stronger or weaker, depending on like what the enemy is. But also you could also send them into the past, so you can make them a younger version of themselves, making them weaker or stronger, again, depending on who the enemy is. How this also plays into combat, though, is like different status effects. So if you poison an enemy in the present or in the past, you can poison them, and poison is a status over, it's a damage over time thing. Yeah. Poison them in the present or the past, you can then move them back into the present or the future. And then when you do that, it has all the poison hit them at once.
Oh, okay.
Or you could do the same thing with fire magic. I don't have fire yet, but you could do the same thing with fire. There was also a thing you could do earlier on with like water against the boss, right? The boss has like a shield that you put over them. So you hit them with water in the present, you send them into the future, and then their armor is rusted. So now you can actually damage them and all like that.
Okay.
So I mean, I've only played like 2.5 hours of the game, simply because I've been tired every time I play. So like sometimes when I play, I'm falling asleep and I'm like, I can't fall asleep. But also again, just because sometimes I just haven't really been in the mood to. So like it's a cool little dynamic. I haven't had to use it too much in combat, because combat it's simple. There is that like level of complexity to it, but it requires setting. in order to have those things happen, you need to do some steps first. Like you need to have Kree spells send the person into the past, or you have to send them into the past, and you have to have someone else poison them. When his Kree spells turn again, you have to send them into the future. Like there's steps to make these things happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a bit easier to just instead just attack. But there's also a thing you can do where if you hit when you're about to hit an opponent, right? If you press X or A, if you're playing on Xbox, if you press it right when you like are about to make contact with your enemy for your attack, you can do 2 hits. So you could do like a critical hit. If an enemy is about to hit you with an attack, if you do the same thing, if you press X right when it's about to hit you, you can like deflect it or parry it or like block it entirely, which is it's neat. You got to pay attention though. If you're falling asleep when playing the game, you miss these things. What makes it a bit annoying though is at least for when enemies are about to attack you, you have to get like, there is no signifier on screen. Like, hey, press it now. There is no like glinting light on the enemy signifying, oh, their attack is about to hit you. You have to literally memorize their animations. So you need to know when in the enemy animation, you need to press the button. If you press it too early, it doesn't work. If you press it too late, it doesn't work. So it's not like you could press it too early and then press it again at the right time and it works. No, if you press it too early, you can't do it. So like you have to memorize their animation to know this is when I need to press it. And that's actually a bit annoying. And because of that, again, if you're falling asleep when you're playing the game, you just completely miss this like I was. I'm like, all right, press X, cool. Dozing, opens eyes. Oh, well, I just got hit. Couldn't block that one. But I mean, all that being said, I am enjoying it. And like the time of the future stuff, it also plays into the towns you go to as well. Because like you're walking in the middle of the screen is the present. The left is the past, the future is on the right side. So as you walk through a town, you can see how people and places in the town look in the past, the present, and the future. So like there'll be different side quests you can do, and people. Well, let me rephrase this. There are things you can do in the town with people to kind of affect how they will turn out in the future. So like there was a decision I had at the beginning of the game where it was like, I can help either the medicine person or this family, this mother and her child, right? I can help either one of them fix their homes because their homes had like some stuff going on with them. And whichever one I helped in the present, their place was fixed in the future. But the other one wasn't fixed. It was still messed up in the future. And you get to see the visual representation of it on your screen at all times. It's neat. It's really cool. So it's a good game. I'd say it's like a 7 for sure, based off just like the 2 hours I've played of it so far, and based off like scores I remember seeing at the time. That's kind of what a lot of people kind of gave, like 7s in that range. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a game like the only game I play until Sifu and Horizon, or if I'm going to like bounce between that and Far Cry now, or that and like some other game. I might jump into Far Cry today, just to start playing that, get a feel for that game and all. But Kreese Tales might be one that like I play off and on every now and then, just to make my way through it. It's a cool game though. I like it. It's fun. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Kreese Tales so far. It's definitely a lengthy game. Like I think 20 hours minimum, 20-30 hours minimum. So not like I'm going to be finishing it anytime soon, unless again, I make that the only game I play.
Yeah.
That was the intention for this week. But again, mood, feeling, time never happened. So we'll see. We'll see where things go with that. But that's all I've played this week.
Nice. And with that, I think that concludes episode 42 of the Play to Win podcast.
Yep.
Thank you all very much for listening. Just as a reminder, you can head over to our website, playtowingames.wordpress.com, where you will find all of our content in one convenient place that you can go through. You can read what each piece of content is, and you will get a direct source for the YouTube video. So you can head over and watch whatever you want to watch. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PlayToWinGame, where you will get updates on the show, any random stuff that we post, any things that we think you guys might enjoy, you can find over there. And as a final reminder, you can subscribe on YouTube and turn on the notification bell so you know when new podcast episodes and new Friday videos go live. And also subscribe on podcast services, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of those platforms and more. Follow us and subscribe to us on there. You will not be disappointed. Tyler.
Also, well, real quick, just in addition to that, like the stuff, comment, share, leave reviews. They're all very important. They will help us out greatly. And we also just, really appreciate all that stuff. Leave your feedback. Let us know what you think. Let other people share the show with other people, get other people listening and or watching. That we get more people in on the play to win conversations that we have over here. So all the stuff's greatly appreciated. Do all those things.
Yeah. And that is why Tyler is better at reading out all of the stuff than I am, because he remembers to say everything. Where people can find him.
You could find me on Twitter at Tyler Miller 2496. You all know the deal. Most of you know the deal if you watch and or listen to the show on a weekly basis. But if you don't, over on my Twitter, I talk about games I'm playing. I talk about different anime that I may be watching or shows that I want to watch. I just tweeted out yesterday, I just finished watching No Game, No Life. Season 2, please and thank you. That show was funny. It's funny. It's cool. Also, surprisingly, way more fan service than I ever thought that show would have. Unnecessary fan service, but the show knows what it is. It's not trying to be anything serious. It knows what it is from the get-go. Not on the level of High School of the Dead type fan service, but your standard type of anime fan service. It's a fun show though. So I tweet about anime and movies and other shows that I like to watch and stuff. So yeah, it's a fun time over there on my Twitter. Follow me over there.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word. I post random stuff. If you want a piece of content that I recommend you go watch, you should go and watch David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet, over on Netflix. I watched that yesterday. No. What day did I watch? I watched this at some point this week. It's very good. It really shows how we've messed up the planet and what we can do to fix it. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all whenever you're back on the channel.
Preferably next week for that podcast, or Friday for whatever video pops up this Friday.
Yeah.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.